Hey everybody, it's Galmadex, and welcome back to the Secrets of Strixhaven Early Access event. Thanks again to Wizards of the Coast for providing me with this promotional early access entry, and with that disclaimer out of the way, let's just get into the draft, the brand new format. Very fun looking rare here, the Color Storm Stallion. 1 a blue and a red for a 3/3 Ward 1 haste. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn. If you spent 5 or more mana on it, you get to create a token that's a copy of this creature. So Prismari, the blue-red color pair in the set, is all about casting 5 mana value or higher instants and sorceries. And this is a really fun, really cute payoff for that. Just getting a whole squad of horses. I know there's a technical term for it, but I'm not a horse guy, so I don't know what it's called when you have a whole bunch of horses. There's a really sweet uncommon here I do want to point out. This card has looked absolutely insane on opponents' sides of the board for the Witherbloom decks. It's like a 3 mana 3/1, comes with a 1/1 pest, and whenever one of your creatures dies, you draw a card in the end step. Crazy stuff. So another really good looking card, but we'll start here in Prismari if we can. Unfortunately, we don't really get past anything in Prismari. I don't think any of these cards work super well there. Strife Scholar is probably pretty decent. 3 mana 3/2 on curve. If it manages to stick around long enough, you can then cast that prepared spell, the Awaken the Ages for 6, which will trigger all of your cards with Opus, like Color Storm Stallion. So Strife Scholar could be okay. I highly doubt I'm supposed to take it pick 2 here. We should probably just be open to the fact that Prismari might get cut, in which case Bletch would be a much, much stronger card, as Witherbloom is all about gaining life. The pest tokens gain a life every time they attack. It also has a lot of pest token production, and Bletch is putting counters onto those pests, so I think Bletch looks like it will be really good for a Witherbloom deck, so we'll have the chance of going that direction. If we get past more reasons to be in Witherbloom than Prismari, then we'll just go Witherbloom, because honestly, Bletch and Color Storm Stallion probably pretty comparable in power level. And for pick 3, we might go towards Witherbloom. We see an Essence Knit Scholar again, which was my shout out as the second best card in the first pack. Maybe actually even better than the Stallion, but obviously the Stallion's cooler. We have less opportunities to play with it since it's a rare. It's that 3 mana 3/1 plus a pest token. The pest token triggers Bletch. The pest token is also a very expendable creature that your opponent can kill pretty easily, and if it dies, then you draw a card. I really like Essence Knit Scholar, so I'm going to take that here, but Rapturous Moment would be a 6 mana spell for all of your Opus stuff to help trigger the Color Storm Stallion. You can even chain Opus together with this. You spend 6 on this, you get 5 mana back, cast another 5 mana spell. So that could be really fun for Opus decks. Suspend Aggression does not seem that good, though. So I think Essence Knit Scholar and that big instant or sorcery look good there. Here's a Wander Off for a pretty excellent black removal spell. Tiny bit expensive for modern day draft at 4 mana, but still 4 mana exile creature instant speed, perfectly reasonable. No Witherbloom card here, no like black-green payoff, just a 3/4 reach. There's also not a lot going on in Prismari though. There's a draw spell. This can blow up a non-basic. There are some non-basics in the set, but still not enough that this is super consistent in just draft. Living History is fun for lore hold, because when cards are leaving your grave, you're getting bigger attacks. But I like the Wander Off. I think it's probably on par for the best card in the whole pack, and goes with our Witherbloom picks. Pick number 5, there are no Witherbloom picks, but there is a Great Burst Lightning for Prismari. This is a flexible removal spell you can cast early when you need to, just a 1 mana deal 2 that you can also kick to kill something bigger, and when you kick it, because Opus just cares about the mana spent, it counts for your Opus cards, because you're spending 5 mana value or greater when you're kicking a Burst Lightning, so I think Burst Lightning is probably really nice for Prismari, being that like 5 mana removal spell later too. So I'll take that over the Strife Knight mainly. Although Oracle's Restoration is probably perfectly fine in Witherbloom, you do draw a card and gain a life. It's just not that exciting. Whereas the Burst Lightning, I think, would be very genuinely exciting for the blue-red decks. Speaking of genuinely exciting for the blue-red decks, Disdainful Stroke's always a really efficient counterspell for anything big later. I think Disdainful Stroke's fine. Again, if it's between that and the Restoration. Spec blue again. There's also a Hydro Channeler that's interesting. Just taps for mana for just instants and sorceries. Probably not that good. All right, well, we're 3 cards deep into 2 completely different decks. We'll see what we get past. Witherbloom's starting to look a little bit drier at this point. There's just a Shopkeep. Random Menacer. Prismari has this Trampler that keeps getting bigger every time you cast any spell, but it gets much bigger when you Opus. Or a counterspell. Take the brush off here. Pick number 8. Hexproof Trick, Treasure Token Producer, or a little life gain 2 mana 2/2 on curve for Witherbloom. The Biomancer looks like really good filler for Witherbloom. Glassrite just looks like okay filler for Prismari. Just take the better filler, just be 50-50. Pick 9, Pest Mascot works great with Bletch. Fractalize is a very cute combat trick that you could spend 5 or more mana on, though, for Prismari, but it's a pick 9 Pest Mascot. Maybe we do get to be Witherbloom. A Scholar's Back or the Follow the Lumerets. I've seen some opponents play this. It's been pretty good value because they've consistently gained the life to get the double draw off of it. So I'm going to grab that. Oh, this is so weird. Why is it still... There's still like a good Witherbloom card and a good Prismari card. There's actually 2 of them because it's the Banishing Betrayal too. I'll take the big Prismari card. And then pick 12. Counterspell. And I guess we'll just see what rare we open next pack. Alright, pack 2, pick 1. We opened a Silver Quill rare. And a pretty bad Prismari rare, I think. 7 mana, and then you can cast instants and sorceries for free. Like, not a huge point in that in just 1v1 draft. There's an efficient black removal spell for Witherbloom and an efficient blue-red removal spell for Prismari. I'm going to take the Prismari card. Pack 2, pick 2. Deduce for some card drawn Prismari. Ooh, Visionary's Dance actually looks really nice for this kind of strategy. Because it is your big high mana value instant or sorcery that'll trigger all of your Opus cards, but it's also flexible where you can discard it for 2 mana just as an instant. Look at the top 2, put the best card into your hand. So it gives you that card selection early when you draw it in like your opening hand. But if you draw it later, then it's just huge. Pick 3, there's that Banishing Betrayal just to slow people down. Tackle Artist getting bigger. Homesickness for a high mana value card for Opus. Spellbook Seeker just looks like okay card selection. Try to do some Prismari nonsense here, so let's see what looks good. Need some more creatures, ideally more cheap creatures. These are all 4 mana still. Looking for more stuff to do interactively like early in the game. I guess a Banishing Betrayal fits that role decently well. Just slow our opponent down early. Go for a Banishing Betrayal here. Ooh, pick 4. You get a Pensive Professor. 3 mana for a 0/2, but it has Increment, so it gets a +1/+1 counter when you play a spell with higher mana value than its power or toughness. So if we play a 1 mana spell, this gets a +1/+1 counter, and we draw a card. And then when we play a 2 mana or more spell, we draw another one, and then so on and so on. And we're in Prismari, which means we're playing all the way up to 6 and 7 mana spells. Definitely take a Pensive Professor. Although Campus Composer looks pretty sweet too. It is your 4 mana play and your 5 mana play all on the same card. It's like, what am I going to do? Turn 4 and turn 5. Well, just do this both turns. So that card looks pretty cool. Well, let's try out this rare Pensive Professor. Another Rapturous Moment. These would be pretty fun to loop together if we're like super lucky. Monstrous Rage is cute, Tablet of Discovery is cute, but I think Rapturous Moment is the cutest. Prismari Charm. Surveil 2, then draw a card. Or deal 1 or 2 targets, or return an online permanent to its owner's hand. Yep, great, flexible charm. We can take that. Landscape Painter looks good too. It has that 5 mana sorcery attached, which again is big enough for Opus, which I think I'm going to keep saying all the time. Stadium Title Manage looks okay. Draw a card, discard a card when you play it when it attacks. Just a looter. Chunky looter. All three of these look fine, but Prismari Charm is the coolest. Gives us more cheap interaction as well. Speaking of cheap interaction, another Vibrant Outburst. I feel like that cheap interaction is very important, but that Visionary's Dance is so cool, being both a cheap spell and a giant finisher. Really, really good in terms of being flexible. I'm going to hope that I have more opportunities to pick up these in like the third pack. I think Vibrant Outbursts are going to be really premium, like that cheap removal, the things to do in the early turns, the defensive plays. Really want to make sure I have those. Seize the Spoils or Tackle Artist both look okay. Go for a Tackle Artist. I'm still very low on creatures. Muse Seeker should be really sweet in this deck. Draw a card, discard a card every time we play an instant or sorcery. And once we get to our 5 mana instants or sorceries, we're just straight up drawing cards, not even having to discard. Deduce here, or just a big idiot. Rather take Deduce. Another Tackle Artist over the Spellbook Seeker. Yeah. With our tremendously high instant sorcery count, Tackle Artists seem pretty good. Now we'll take a Spellbook Seeker and another 4 mana creature. Why are all the Prismari creatures 4 mana, apparently? Flashback. Target instant sorcery in your grave gains flashback. Yeah. Just recast a spell. Basically, if you top deck this, you've top decked a copy of something in your grave. Not super exciting in just a regular draft. I think I'm just going to go for Visionary's Dance. I think this card's going to be sweet for this deck. Pack 3, pick 2. Together as 1. A colorless sorcery is neat. Target player draws X cards, deals X to any target, and you gain X, where X is the number of colors and mana spent to cast this spell. Even at like 3, that's kind of insane. Draw 3 cards, deal 3 damage. But we're not even at 3 colors. Essence Scatter is just guaranteed good here. Just a really cheap way to counter their next creature. We'll just take the Scatter. Mana Sculpt. Oh, it's mana drain, but only if you have a wizard. If you don't have a wizard, then it's just cancel, just 3 mana counterspell, which we're not going to have a wizard on board because we're not going to have a creature on board because we don't have creatures. Elemental Mascot can chip in for some damage early, and then when we cast a really high mana value stuff, we draw cards till the end of our next turn. Might be Elemental Mascot because I'm still desperately seeking creatures. So let's put an Elemental Mascot in here. Pick 4. Deal extra creatures, X the number of colors spent. Nope. Increment, get bigger, and then move the counters around. Sure. It just starts as a 1/1 though. Tapper and a Stunner. It only gets temporary buffs even when you're doing the full Opus though. I think I'd rather just grab another Elemental Mascot here. Pick 5. Rabble Rouser. The 1/4, discard a card, draw a card, and get some mana out of it. I think Rabble Rouser looks fine in here because we do have some high mana value stuff to get to. So getting that extra mana is something. Don't love Return the Favor. It was in like Outlaws of Thunder Junction and some other set, and it was just a little bit too narrow and finicky. It ended up being on average pretty bad. Obviously, like an insane blowout in exactly the right spot. Like it'll really win you the game when the right things happen. But more often than not, it just doesn't. It just sits in your hand for a very long time. Spectacular Sky Whale or Strife Scholar. Sky Whale's cool. I mean, look at how pretty it is. So I'm going to take that over the Scholar. But mana curve reasons, I could see Scholar being better. It's also a 2 for one thing. So you play it early, and then you also get the other half later. Another Visionary's Dance. Come on in. I'll still take that over the Strife Scholar. As decent as the Strife Scholar looks. Seize the Spoils, Ancestral Anger, Textbook Tabulator. I don't think I'm going to play any of these. Weirdly enough, maybe I play a Seize the Spoils. Pick 9, Flashback came around, which makes sense because I don't think it's very good here. I guess this is a good Tablet of Discovery deck, actually. Yeah, I suppose it is. Double mana, for instance, in sorceries when we have 3 7-mana sorceries, 2 6-mana sorceries. That's kind of a big deal. Run Behind or Heated Argument are both fine. I'll take the Bouncer. Take a Tester and just don't move the counters around. Just have it sit there and get bigger when we're casting our spells. I've got a lot of multicolor spells in here. Might actually be an okay referee deck. I've got a lot of blue-red spells. Okay, 10 cards to cut. Could be at a super, super high non-creature count, which is quite fun. $10 cards to cut? Lord. I want to try really, really creature light then. Something like that, maybe. Still have to cut 5. Really relying on Prismari Charms and Vibrant Outbursts in the early game. Actually kind of want to run Double Brush Off. Those Banishing Betrayals are really tempting. I don't know what I'm cutting them for, though. Or what I'm cutting for them. 6 mana is a whole lot just for draw 3, discard 2, but you get all the mana back, so the idea is once you get to 6 mana, it's really like 1 mana, draw 3, discard 2. But that's only if you draw stuff you immediately cast for all that mana. Maybe with Double Brush Off, I don't need the Disdainful Stroke. I'm just going to see how well these play. I'm going to leave like the full Opus package. Just all of these. All 6 of them. Then we'll run it like this. 20 blue cards, 15 red, go 9/8 on it. Sure. Very interesting deck. Excited to see how it does. So let's just hop right into the gameplay. Alright, let's see how this deck even functions here. Playing against the blue deck with a Preordain out of the Mystical Archives, that's a very good draw spell. Scry 2, draw 1. It's really efficient for the card selection it gives you. Drop an island and pass. Playing against blue-green, they don't play anything out yet, so I think I'm going to start with the Tester of the Tangential and start incrementing all over the place. Unless they want to counter it, which is perfectly fine too. Just get that out of the way. Our plan to win isn't really like beating down with some random increment creature. We just want to stall them out long enough to start doing weird Opus things. Okay, I like that that only has 1 toughness, because we have a few cards in our deck that only shoot things for 1. So I think I'm going to not kill that immediately. I'm going to see if we draw into one of those things. I'm actually just going to run out the tablet here. We don't get to cast whatever it mills, or play whatever it mills, because I'm just running it out early. But that is going to mean that we have 6 mana next turn to just play Rapture's Moment if we want. Applied Geometry, make a 6/6 flyer now. Even if we killed the Terrafractal, they would just make a 6/6 on the ground, which would be equally bad for us. The Applied Geometry is just a busted rare, so be in a world of pain either way. What's the plan? Rapturous moment, pray for something good. Those are lands. Arena. Whale. 1, 2, 3. Just Vibrant Outburst here. Sorcerer Speed Vibrant Outburst is a little rough. Find a counterspell, but it is too late. We did end up running one copy of our bounce spell, which would be an incredible draw if we can find it this game. Speaking of incredible draws, just incredible cards in general. The 3/3 that draws another land, very good card. Growth Curve. Just, you know, the dream hand. Well, we can chump block now. Yeah, that's what we can do. Draw 4, then put a permanent mana of a fur from your hand on the battlefield tapped. There are so many good rares. We will counter that one. Draw an Essence Scatter, that's too late. I'd rather keep Deduce because we have to find a way to deal with the flyer that is killing us on the board right now. I could have taken the 3 and went to 1 there. None of these deal with the flyer. I'm 1 mana away from playing the Visionary's Dance, so I can't do that either. That is not it. Okay, we got Wombo comboed. I don't know what to say. And the game plays out basically the same, even if we killed the flyer. Unless we had, like, held up the removal for it so we could kill it in response to them trying to copy it. But if we were tapped out at any point, even them just copying a land, that land is a 12/12 killing us on the ground, so... Just insane stuff from our opponent. That'll be 0-1 heading game 2. Here we are on the play for game number 2. Start with a Tester of the Tangential, have a great defensive play after that. This looks like a really good opener, but it's about the same opener as last time, and our opponent really made ours look like nothing. Blue-red mirror match this time. They play a Muse Seeker. I don't mind blowing that up before they can do anything with it. Poke for 2. They are blue, red, and green, and now we've got Brush Off held up. We have 2 Visionaries Dances, so we definitely have win conditions here. We can make 4 3/3 flyers when we make it to 7 mana. Prismari Charm, Surveil 2, draw a card, you got it. They just pass through. That's a little awkward. We drew all 3 copies of Visionary's Dance. At that rate, we turn one of these into a land. Look at the top 2, put a land into our hand. Wait till their end step, though, obviously. Fractal Tender. I'm gonna let that happen, because I can pay the ward here. And just kind of time walk them for a turn and surveil towards my land. It's not my land, but honestly, kind of obnoxious, but I don't mind just play brush off the next 2 turns. Brush off hit for 3, brush off hit for 4. Increment up. Draw for turn. There's the hit for 3. Big old spell, counter that one. Hit for 4. Okay, I know I said my game plan was not just killing somebody with a Tester of the Tangential, but I guess that is this game. I don't even know if we'll get to cast a Visionary's Dance at this rate. They might be dead before then. They will not be dead before then, probably. Find a Pensive Professor and a Spectacular Sky Whale. Wish I did that main phase at this point. What do they even have in Grave? Prismari Charm? Okay. I think casting a dance is going to be so good next turn, I should just discard the other one to just guarantee I hit the land. Okay, I did not hit the land, but these are really good. Where is the land? That's the question. Alright, well, I mean, putting them to 1 is putting them to 1. Put them to 1, draw a card, and Rebel Rouser is ready to go. Oh, that can shoot face. Oh, I'm stupid. Apologies, opponent. I did not mean to slow roll. I did not know that could shoot face. That is better than I thought it was. Wow. Yeah, Vibrant Outburst is sweet. You could shoot a face with Vibrant Outburst. I had lethal that whole time. I don't even need to think about all that. Really nice stuff from the deck there. We are 1-1 now, heading to game number 3. Here we are on the draw for game 3. Sad to be on the draw, but we've got very good spells. Another mirror match. Very suspicious matchmaking arena. I want to play against different archetypes. Do I just shoot that so they don't get the treasure? I don't think so. Oh, with a deduce in hand too. You can have a 2/2, you can have a treasure. I'm just going to set up some draw right now. Hydro Channeler. It's a mana every single turn. A little bit more concerning. Find an Essence Scatter. Essence Scatter is very good with the Clue token. If they cast a good creature, we counter it. If we don't, we either kill one of their current creatures or sack the Clue and draw a card. Take 3. Take 2. Two it is. Oh, I forgot to sack the Clue. I'm an idiot. I clicked. This is what happens when I start clicking spacebar. I go too fast. Now I can outburst when they go to combat and then still also have scatter. cool. They're just going to pass through and give me my card. Prismari Charm. 1 damage to 2 targets, not enough. Play my mascot and have scatter / charm up, and now I'm blocking the 2/2. I don't think I want to, like, return the mascot back to my hand if they try to kill it. I think we just let it die and hold on to the Prismari Charm. Pass the turn. I don't know what is happening. I'll surveil. Really want to get to Visionary's Dance, but Color Storm Stallion's really, really cool if we get to Opus alongside that. Perfect. We've got the 7 mana. It's probably going to die to something, but hey, if it doesn't. If it doesn't, boy, is it going to be fun. Do not touch my stallion. They have not touched my stallion yet. Where are their spells? They've played 2 cards. Their land or their hand can't be all lands either, because they stopped playing lands too. Okay, they're going for like a big combo turn. All right. Draw 3, discard 2. And then 5 more mana to play other stuff. Or maybe they are the most top-heavy Prismari deck ever, and it is all 6 and 7 mana in their hand. They discarded... Oh, the duplicator card? Okay, so they had like a weird narrow card, and then they also had a bounce spell that they discarded. For their remaining 6 mana. Ew. I'll Essence Scatter that. It's the mythic rare that keeps casting lightning bolts whenever they cast a 3rd spell, and that would be their 2nd spell, so they would certainly cast a 3rd one. Seize the spoils, discard a card, draw 2, get a treasure. Alright, well, I think we pretty successfully made that turn go not that great for them. And then here's an excellent turn for us, unless they can counter this with, like, Disdainful Stroke. Yay! I did the horsey thing. Prismari. Instant and sorcery spells you cast have Storm. Okay, so I have to kill them like this turn or I'm dead. Luckily, they block 2 3/3s and take exactly 7. Okay, I'm going to Rabble Rouser first in case they have a 1 mana piece of interaction. We might be able to draw into something that still gets the kill. Well, that will next turn if they don't die now. Okay, they don't have anything, they just have to take the lethal. Well, that explains their hand. It was a bunch of really explosive, very high mana value cards that were just a tiny bit too expensive. And we are now 2-1 heading into game number 4. Playing against a white deck here. We are on the draw for this one. We got a Banishing Betrayal and Prismari Charm for a couple different pieces of interaction to have up on turn 2. If they cast another 1 toughness card, this Prismari Charm is going to be crazy. Okay, well, I think I like Banishing Betrayaling that, so they have the chance of like playing 2 1 toughness cards later. I like drawing a Vibrant Outburst too. I think I'm going to cycle one of these Visionary Dances pretty quickly here. Is what's going to happen. This doesn't counter anything, does it? No. Let's lead with the Mascot so we can start attacking while we're doing all these cheap interactive spells. Ward 2. Ward nonsense. I'm really good at drawing all 3 Visionaries Dances. RNG is weird today. How many red sources do I have left in the deck? I have 7 mountains and 7 islands, so it's an exact 50-50 if I try to discard one of these to hit a mountain or island. If I do this, I really want to hit the island, and then if I do this, I really want to hit the mountain. And it is equally likely either way. I guess let's hope for the mountain. Gross. Neither is super bad. What does this thing even do? Oh, it gets lifelink every turn? That is unraceable. Lifelink every turn that they target a creature. So every time they cast a removal spell or a combat trick. Or some of their draw spells, like the Cost of Brilliance. Rehearsed Debater and Stone Docent. 3rd island before 2nd mountain. Super bad, because we need 2 of each to play 2 spells. I guess we can at least hold up a Brush Off for a non-creature spell. So we can Violent Outburst, and then if they try to play a combat trick to protect whatever we're shooting, we then brush off the combat trick. This could be fine. Casting a big creature is less fine. Could just counter that and then not play removal here. Because that also gives them the way to trigger all their repartee. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Brush it off. Take 3. Second red source is an absolutely beautiful draw. It's the sit up in your chair kind of draw. Still got a demonstrator over there to do some great stuff. This creature gets +1/+0 lifelink. And then this gets +1/+1. Oh, this isn't even a particularly good deal for them. They're destroying their own creature to make this one not die. So I'm still killing just as many creatures. I mean, honestly, that's pretty chill. And then I could just like bounce the debater here, I guess. Yeah, that's not a bad deal for me. We just let it happen. Could even go ahead and trade here. In fact. Yeah, but I can also block the 3/4 forever. If I bounce the 3/4, they do get to just immediately replay it. So it's actually not that good. I guess I could just 1-for-1 outburst it too. And that could be fine, so I can keep the mascot to block the demonstrator. Alright. Snooping Page is their last card. Very scary if they draw something that targets a creature, because then they draw extra cards every turn. Draw a card, discard a card every time you cast an instant or sorcery. Yeah. If I want to play a land this turn, I have to Prismari Charm right now for Surveil 2 draw. And I really want to play a land, because if I play a land this turn and next turn, then I start playing Visionary's Dances really soon. So let's go for it. Good card, not a land. I'm weirdly going to ditch the Professor. And that's 2 lands, which is exactly what we want. So they've got one little gap here to hit something good. But if this exact card is not a good one, then we just start going insane. It's Visionary's Dance. Draw another card with Muse Seeker. Don't even have to discard. The mascot draws another card too. It was a land on top, so now we just go really hard. That's very good with the Snooping Page. They get their card draw here. Plus the mana value was 0, so they didn't even have to lose life to kill that. That was a really good draw. There's a Rebel Rouser for us. Rapturous Moment, trigger Seeker, draw another card, draw 3, discard 2, get a ton of mana back. If we draw any land, we can play Visionary's Dance 2 here. Do draw land, draw 3, ditch 2. Well, definitely draw land. That's okay. Cast the Visionary's Dance. Draw another card. Boom. Boom. It's another removal spell? Ouch. Double removal spell were the draws for them last turn. Alright, no attacks this turn. Huge for us. We have 9 damage in the sky. Tablet hits a land, doesn't matter. Let's just play the blockers. Play the blockers, they got 1 turn to get out of here. That's a big one. Gigantic lifelink attack, and maybe draw another card if they have enough life for it. They're at 8. I don't think they have enough life. We have 9 damage in the sky. Interceptor's a sorcery to tap somebody, so that can't save them. They don't find a way to deal with all those flyers. Really, really, really excellent stuff from just that big 7 mana sorcery at common. I think that's going to be a really sweet card in these Prismari decks, and we are now 3-1 heading into game number 5. I'm going to keep this. The Visionary's Dances are castable as Impulse, just the 2 mana, look at the top 2, put one into your hand. Not Impulse, but, you know, a little draw spell. So our worst case scenario here is just playing 2 draw spells, turn 2, turn 3. And this is better than that case scenario because we immediately hit the mountain. I think this hand is fine with just bouncing Fire Dancer. Just buy time and try to get to 7. The amount of times I've cast Prismari Charm is just bounce a card at this point. I feel like maybe I should be playing both copies of the 1 in a blue bounce a card thing. Because those have been good. Ooh, that's really fun. You get blue and red for instants and sorceries every turn. Pretty sick. Let's find a spell here. Well, that is a spell here. Weird one. Okay, no instant or sorcery this turn. Just play the 2/2. Alright, I don't want to just be stuck with a bunch of cards in hand, so I'm going to run out a Mascot to start blocking. And if they play an instant or sorcery, I still have the brush off. Okay, we'll protect it. Virtuoso will tap and stun it anyway. Sadness. 1 land from the Visionary's Dance. I can Moment right now and also play Mascot. My exiled card is a 2-drop. That's a little awkward. Oh, and then we didn't hit any lands. I guess it's better to fully kill something than bounce something right now. So let's probably play the Mascot and the Violent Outburst. Arc should play the Tester and the Violent Outburst. That makes sense too. Yeah, let's do that. I actually I could have discarded the Mascot then and kept like the bigger Whale or Banishing or something here. These both have combat trick style abilities, which is kind of awkward on blocks. But I think we still need to kill the mana thing. Oh. That's 10 damage. 12 damage. Yikes and a half. Well, if I don't hit Dance Mana, we're dead. I did not hit Dance Mana. I guess technically I have 2 blockers for their 2 attackers. I'm dead to a removal spell either way. The cards that are going to kill me are basically the same either way, so I might as well do this one. So that if I do happen to survive... I have 1 more card in the grand scheme. Haste kills me. Dang. I mean, obviously it doesn't look that close, but I feel like this game was a lot closer than it looked. They just had a really explosive turn there with the removal spell that also shot me in the face. Those combat tricky creatures. I guess technically if we just let them keep the mana card then and killed the potential double striker, we probably would have got there. Because with one more turn, we then get the 2 more flyers out, trigger the Opus stuff. Yeah. Rough. 3-2 it is, heading to game 6. Here we are for game number 6 with a beautiful opening hand. I think this is basically exactly what you want in the opener, just all of the cheap ways to stop your opponent from killing you and buy more time to try to get to the 7 mana cards. As always, get hit up with all the mirror matches on Arena. Another blue-red deck. Outburst this before they untap and get any mana out of it. I don't mind it. Well, we've got multiple other pieces of interaction. That's fine. Mascot is very high toughness. That is not going to die anytime soon. Thunder Drum Soloist. When they cast into their sorcery, ping us for 1. It's a 1/3. End step, we can bounce the mascot back to their hand. They can't afford to play it yet. And even if they could, it was an end step bounce, so would get them regardless. Probably just going to counter it here and then go Whale Burst Lightning. Seems pretty good. This gets +3/+0 whenever I cast it against our sorcery. So you can have it as a 4 power blocker off of casting a Burst Lightning. Alright, they're just going to kill it. Fair. Boot me for 1 with the Soloist. What about my Elemental Mascot? Can I keep this one? Scatter their whale. Sixth mana. We're almost there. I can Burst Lighting the Soloist and draw 1 here. At the end of your next turn. I think I'd rather hold up the Burst Lightning in case they play something better than a 1/3. Seize the spoils. Discard a card, get 2 cards and 1 treasure. Play 1 land and pass. Burst Lightning makes us twice as likely to hit a land here. That's not a land. That's not a land either. Well, Rebel Rouser also helps hit the land. Unless they scatter it. At least it was off my bonus draw. Another Soloist. I thought I dealt with you. Yeah, it is in the grave. Tablet of Discovery. Mill 1 and they can play that card this turn only. It's a 5 mana card. They cannot play it. Oh, wait, no, they can, because the treasure and that's double mana? Ew. Sure, I'll save this. Mainly, I just want to surveil pretty badly. There we go, there's the land. I think it's probably a tiny bit greedy to run out the mascot first here at this point. Let's just get going. Get this game ending fast with those flyers. Magma Blood Archaic, that's a scary one. I have 7 damage in the sky here. Not lethal. I could shoot their face for 3. Let's probably tap Archaic and shoot Soloist here. Give us a swing through that. Counterspell for us. For whatever they play this turn. Sure, good enough to counterspell. It's another flying blocker. Land. I could put them to 2 by sacking a 3/3. And then in theory, if I draw any instant or sorcery, they're dead, because Mascot goes to 2 power when I cast an instant or sorcery. But it plays really poorly for me if they draw a removal spell or another reach creature. I think I have to pass. This is not it, Arena. It's not it for them either. Man. We all brought the stack of lands to the party here. We found our tablet now, and our tablet hits a Muse Seeker. I think now putting them to 2, now that we've got an additional creature, if they draw into absolutely nothing, then we have a lethal all attack on board now. Oh god, Jessica's Will? Okay, so they draw 3. All 3 of them are spells. Double Muse Seeker and Color Storm Stallion. Yikes. There is no flying there, so if we draw anything to deal with Archaic or tap it, then they are dead still. Or if I draw any instant or sorcery, they're dead still, because then the Mascot gets the buff. Yeah, there's still a lot of lethal draws. That is not one of them. It's going to attack with Mascot on the flyer to put them to 1 life, but then I wouldn't have an attack next turn anyway. This is the most nerve-wracking top deck war, I swear. Oh yeah, Pensive Professor. Yeah, that is something. Because of the Pensive Professor. There we go. That is gotta be it. Just trigger our entire board. Yeah, there's the concession from our opponent. We even get the second Stallion too. Ooh, that was scary. That could have went really bad for us if we were in that top deck war there. There's cards that could really flip the game. Like if our opponent had their own Visionary's Dance and they drew it before we drew ours, like they could have started killing us there pretty quickly. So really lucky that we drew those cards in the sequence that we did. And that is going to be our 4th win now. That is 4-2. And it is getting relatively late and I've got to record 7 of these videos in one day. So tend to cut the early access drafts at about the 1 hour mark of recording. We're at 1 hour and 6 minutes here, so I am going to go ahead and end the draft there at 4-2. Very solid, very reasonable record. Probably around a 5-3 is what I would guess we would get out of this deck, which is perfectly serviceable. It was really fun. I think the deck itself was pretty good. I think some really important things when you're playing this kind of deck is to really prioritize that efficient removal, the interaction in the early game, so you don't just get steamrolled by aggro. So the double Vibrant Outburst, the Burst Lightning, the Prismari Charm, the Essence Scatter, these things were all really, really important to the game plan. So just a ton of cheap stuff, and then a ton of great big finishers. I really loved the Visionary's Dance. It's kind of the card of the day. This was a very fun way to be trying to end games of Magic and triggering all the Opus cards. Definitely quite a bit of fun. So pretty sweet deck, pretty fun deck. Very happy with how Prismari plays, at least this version of it. Seems pretty fun. So excited to draft it some more in the future. But that is going to do it. Oops. That is going to do it for today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.